Love you back. I want to make sure that every child in America has the best education we have to offer, from the day that child is born till the day that child graduates from college. You know, we give lip service to education, but we know what to do. The problem is not that we don't know how to fix our school system. The problem is that we don't feel a sense of urgency about it. We see a poor black child in the inner city, we think, oh, they can't learn. We see a Latino kid in a barrio in South Texas, we say, well, that's an immigrant kid. That's somebody else's problem. See a poor child in the Appalachian Hills. We think, well, you know, life's tough. It's not our problem. Every child in America is our problem. Every child in America is our responsibility. That's not somebody else's child. That's our child. And we have a responsibility to create a better future for them. And so we're going to invest in early childhood education to close the achievement gap and make sure every child is prepared when they start school. And I won't just talk about how great teachers are. I will reward them for their greatness by giving them higher salaries and giving them more support. I want to create the highest standards for our students. We need high standards. All of you young people, you're going to be competing against kids in China and India. That's not going to change. That's the future. But I don't want those standards measured just by a single high-stakes standardized test. Because I want our teachers not teaching to the test. I want them teaching everything. I want them teaching art and music and science and poetry and all the things that make for a worthwhile, well-rounded education. And I don't know about you, Nittany Lions, but I think it's about time we made college affordable and accessible for every young person in America. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give a $4,000 tuition credit every student, every year when I'm president, but you're not going to get it for free. You're going to have to give something back in return. You're going to have to spend some time in community service or national service, work in a homeless shelter, work in a veterans home, join the Peace Corps, teach in an underserved school, teach in an underserved hospital. We'll invest in you, you invest in America. Together, we will march this country forward. If you're ready for change, we can protect this environment and create the kind of energy policy that makes sense. We send $1 billion every day to foreign nations because of our addiction to foreign oil. We're paying record oil prices and we're melting the polar ice cap in the bargain. It doesn't make sense. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to cap the emission of greenhouse gases that cause global warming. And we're going to generate billions of dollars that we reinvest in solar and wind and biodiesel. And we're going to go after the oil companies' windfall profits and make sure they're investing in refinery capacity. And we are going to go to the car companies and say, you've got to build cars that are more fuel efficient. If we increase fuel efficiency standards on cars to 40 miles per gallon, we would save the equivalent of all the oil we import from the Persian Gulf. Imagine what that would do, not just for our economy, but for our environment and our national security. And when I said that, by the way, I didn't do it in front of some environmental group. That's easy. I went in front of the automakers in Detroit and told them, you've got to change your ways. And I have to say that the room was really quiet. Nobody clapped. But that's okay, because part of what you should expect from the next president is somebody who's not just going to tell you what you want to hear, but will tell you what you need to hear, will tell you the truth. That should be the standard that you hold your presidents to. Being straight, being honest. And finally, if you're ready for change, we can change our foreign policy in a way that restores America's standing and keeps us safe. My job as Commander-in-Chief will be to keep you safe. And I will not hesitate to strike against any who would do us harm. But keeping you safe is not just a matter of answering a phone call at 3 in the morning. What you want is good judgment at the other end of that phone. And that starts with making sure that we retain the strongest military on earth. That means that we are keeping our troops properly equipped and properly trained, and we're putting them on proper rotations, and we are treating them properly when they come home. No more homeless veterans, no more waiting for disability payments, no more waiting to get into the VA. Our veterans have earned our honor and respect. They deserve to be treated better than they've been getting treated after coming home. But it's not just a matter of maintaining a strong military, it's also a matter of using our military wisely. And the war in Iraq was unwise. It was the wrong war at the wrong time. And it has cost us dearly in blood and treasure. Everywhere I go, I meet young veterans who are back from Iraq or Afghanistan, and they are proud of their service, rightfully so. They have done everything that's asked of them. But they understand that this mission can't just be based on our military prowess, that we shouldn't have expected to be greeted as liberators. And I think about the young men who've been lost. A mother gave me this bracelet to commemorate a 20-year-old son who had been killed in a roadside bomb. And I think about all the parents who sometimes I have to hug, who are weeping silently on my shoulders, who I meet at rallies. That's obviously been the most enormous cost, but understand the economic cost of this war. By the time this is over, it will have cost us well over $1 trillion, probably closer to 2. Money that we could have used to rebuild America, to invest in homeland security, to make us safer, to finish the job in Afghanistan. This was an unwise war. That's why I opposed it in 2002. That's why I will bring it to an end in 2009. We will bring our troops home. But I don't want to just end the war. I want to end the mindset that got us into war. I'm tired of the climate of fear that has been created. Tired of using 9/11 as a way to scare up votes instead of a way to bring the country together around fighting a common enemy. So we're going to restore a sense of diplomacy to our foreign policy. I've said early in this campaign, I'm not just going to meet with countries that we like, I'll meet with countries we don't like. Not just with our friends, but with our enemies. And I was attacked by Senator Clinton and Senator McCain and George Bush. They said, you can't do that. I said, yes, I can. Because I remember what John F. Kennedy once said. He said, we can never negotiate out of fear, but we can never fear to negotiate. That's what strong countries and strong presidents do. They talk to their adversaries. They tell them where America stands. They try to resolve differences without resort to war. That's what I intend to do as President of the United States. See, I want to go before the world community and say, America's back. And we are ready to lead. We will lead on fighting terrorism. We will lead on going after bin Laden. But we'll also lead on locking down loose nuclear weapons that could fall into the wrong hands. We're also going to lead in making sure that we're helping poor countries deal with the devastation of HIV/AIDS. We're also going to lead in bringing an end to the genocide in Darfur. That's part of our leadership.